This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 22 with Queen. Today is July 20th, 2026. That's a Monday, in case anybody was wondering. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I am one of your co-hosts here, She Bender, along with Crypto Queen. We appreciate everyone out there worldwide listening via podcast. Big shouts out to the podcast. Appreciate all the downloads. Appreciate everybody replaying this on X. Just appreciate everybody coming out. And yeah, we got a lot of fun topics to go over tonight. So before I do that, Queen, can we hear you?
Hey, I hope so. Can you hear me, Bender?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Awesome. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Community shouts out. You got any to give?
Yeah, I want to do a shout out, kind of a personal one. Hope that's okay. I wanted to shout out my ladies at Queens of Crypto. We are working on our trademark and got the letter from the attorney this last week. We passed the first challenges and answered the questions they wanted. And so now it goes to a review phase where people can make public comments and argue against why we need to hold the name Queens of Crypto. But usually they don't, there's no objection and it goes on to the final stage. So excited about that and looking forward to see where we can take it. And just cool update on that.
Wow, that is amazing. And yes, congratulations. Here's the craziest thing. You said personal shout out. I had that on my list for community shouts out today. So I'm glad you did it. I'll post that up in the Nesto. Yeah. And says beautiful things there too. And go ahead.
I should say shameless, shameless shout out. Hey, Julie.
To the cat in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah. So along with that one, you know what? Before I go any further, because I'm gonna need that tonight. Disclaimer. I need these every week, y'all. Don't let me lie. Disclaimer: this is not financial advice. You can't lose all your money investing. This is also not for educational or entertainment purposes. I nor anyone is speaking is a financial, political, legal, medical, betting, or any type of expert advisor. These are our thoughts and opinions on different topics only. This is being recorded for future rebroadcasts and clips on other platforms. Thank you. Let's take a look here while I find that one. Another community shout out I had. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I see Josie in the building, and the Futurist Conference in Toronto starts tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. He's representing a few of the communities that we know and love, and we're excited to have him go meet everybody and represent us all well. And I'm excited to see what happens at Futurist this year. Unfortunately, I can't go, but I really wanted to be there. But it's going to be an awesome event, seeing lots of good sponsors, and it should be a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dosey too. Shout out Dosey and Joey the cat. Appreciate y'all coming in. There's somebody else in the space right now. Shout out to you too. I just can't see you right now. I'm posting stuff up here to the Jumbotron. Oh, here we go. I finally found it. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Big
funny news. Story while you're doing that, Bender. I got a funny story about our marketing material. Josie has been so good about getting our marketing material, kind of staying on us to get it done. And so I went to Vistaprint and ordered some things for Queens of Crypto. And I ordered these stickers that said 2.5 inches. I was kind of being inches versus 2.5 inches. And I'm thinking, okay, 2.5 is perfect to put on a shirt or like to put on a notebook or something, And so I ordered all these stickers and had them sent to Dosey. And turns out the sticker itself, the whole sheet of stickers, which has like 9 or something stickers on them, was 2.5 inches. So they're like tiny. about the size of like you could put them on a piece of candy or something. But we have stickers, and he's been making fun of me about these sticker sizes. We were calling them the tiny stickers are showing up at Futurist.
You know what? They're probably gonna stand out though, because everybody else's stickers are so big.
Thank you, Bender. That made me feel better.
I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
And look, and I had AI help me with this. I reached out to the chat support and I was like, okay, what size stickers would be good for these kind of market materials, you know? And they were like, help me order it. They even stuck it in my shopping cart, the size I needed. And turns out that really wasn't the size I needed. So AI is not always better than a person.
No, AI is kind of hit and miss every now and then. I'm just not gonna lie to you, but that's okay. Wait, let me ask you something. In your area, how what's the coldest it gets like in the wintertime?
It gets in the 30s, sometimes the 20s. With a wind chill, you know, it can get in the teens, but that's about as low as it goes.
Like consistently every year it gets that low?
No, not necessarily. Like I would say average temperature for us in the winter is like in the low 50s.
Okay. Because I've been in the Gulf area in like January and it was like 60 degrees and humid and I was mind blown. I was like, why is it so humid?
Yeah, like on the coast, it's a lot more humid than where I'm at. Like I'm up at the northeast part of the state, and so it's not quite as humid up here.
Yeah. And like I made like a 15-hour drive straight, like literally just stopping for gas and I was just on a ton of energy drinks. But I was like 3 states into like snowstorms and chaos and somewhere past Tennessee, it was like, oh, this is like life without wintertime in the world. Like, what is happening? Like, I have my window down. I'm chilling. I just went through like 8 snowstorms. I'm just like, oh, it's breezy and cool, like fall now. And that was so cool. Reason why I bring that up, and thank you for that, Queen. Reason why I bring that up is because tonight we are going to kind of take a little deep dive into things that are like trauma. And I don't know if we're all just accustomed to trauma. So I'm going to give you my example of trauma before we go into like how it's related to going off grid tonight. So every year I go through, and it just hit me like 2 weeks ago because it was like 100 and something degrees. And then like with the humidity, it was really like 105, 110. And I can distinctly remember in January, it was 0 degrees. And with the wind chill, it was like -5, -10. And sometimes it got colder, but I'll just say consistently, I remember those two. And every year, within roughly 6 months, this happens. And I just thought about it and I'm like, should I be accustomed? Like, I don't think there's really a whole lot of parts of the world where you're just kind of like, I'm literally like an hour closer to Canada than I am to the South. I'm like in a really weird place on the planet. And I'm just really wondering, like, should I be accustomed to 100-degree swing within 6 months every year? And if I'm off, it might be some years I only get like an 80 or 90-degree swing, but it's usually consistently. There's always a week or two where it's 0 to -10, and then there's a week or two where it's 90s, 100. Like, do you think that's like normal for like people to? Do you think people should like live through that normally, like every year? Oh, Queen's a listener. All right. I don't think I should live through that every year, though. But I'm accustomed to it, and I've never really thought about it until now. And it's really strange. I appreciate everybody coming up. We got Sam in the building. Sam, I have got you. I think. Yep. I'm just going to double check here on my other phone. Yes, I've got you on my list for community shouts out this week. I think this is Space Penguin Grove alt cal, but I just want to give you a shout out for these incredible nature photos that you keep putting up. And if y'all don't know, follow that one up there, Space Penguin Girl. She says she's not a professional photographer, but if you kind of take a scroll down that page and take a look, y'all, I don't know what a professional photographer looks like, but that looks like professional photography to me. And I'm on my nature vibes, and I think you should just take them all and make a NFT collection out of them. You're not the first person I told that, but it's definitely something I would recommend. Like that should just live on somewhere besides Twitter. Nigel, big shouts out to you. Dosey, big shouts out to you. Gabby, big shouts out to you. Gabby, I checked on. I don't want to. I'm going to be positive tonight, y'all. I had a total effing meltdown about this Android app and just how they just wrecked it so bad. And I was going to go into this whole diatribe about. Well, it is. It is the worst, absolute worst update of any app I've had of all time. But I'm just not going to let it blow my high. I'm just not going to let it ruin my day. It is what it is. It's out of my control. Devs are deving, whatever. But Gabby, if you want, I would be willing to open up a space for you tomorrow night. I would probably say safely 6:30 Eastern. There's no telling if I get home right at 6, but if you're okay with that, I'll be more than happy to open up the space. Have you co-host, I'll just shut up and let you do your thing. But, you can DM me, hit me back in the replies, whatever. But I'd be more than happy to help you out because I just checked earlier and Twitter's still not letting Androids. They let us listen. It did let me. It's funny. I set the space up here because I have Andrew. I see you in the building. They let me set the space up here on my the iPhone, but it did not let me. But it did let me. It was going to allow me to start the space on the Android, even though I can't create space on the Android. Yeah, I'm just. I'm just not gonna let it get to me, y'all. We're just gonna fight. Just gonna fight that urge not to just, Oh, I did check earlier. SpaceX at 122 right now. Did open up at 134, not 135, not financial advice, but just a key observation. Queen, we got you back. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, I saw you come off speaker, but I didn't hear you. Oh, okay. We'll try it back around. A couple of them. Also, natural disasters, y'all. I didn't even realize this, y'all, when I posted this. What was it? A couple of days ago, but I posted this one of the sunset. Let me go back and find that actually. But I posted the sunset, and it was I was like, oh man, that's a really cool, hazy, weird looking sunset. And I was just like, wow, and something at the time, because I was headed into a building and, wow, I'm looking at these stickers. They are tiny. Well, shout out to Dosey. Shout out to Futures Conference too. Please attend if you can make it up there. Yeah, I at the time I had no clue really what I was looking at. And then literally here it is. The next day, y'all, I swear I walked out and I thought it was you ever burn leaves in your yard and how that white smoke comes up? The entire city is just blanketed in this white smoke. Everywhere I'm going, it's some fog evaporating kind of, but it still got that lingering effect. But then the first hour, I could smell the actual fire itself, and I'm holy cow, this is going on across the lake from me in Canada. Wow, so big love to everybody out there. I cannot imagine being anywhere near those wildfires right now. But I am going to post that up. But yeah, that picture I took the night before, and it wasn't like fiery or smoky or anything on the ground. It was just like really hazy. But yeah, the very next day, it was just like fire and chaos, and like we were on like air quality alerts, like all kinds of stuff out here in the parishes. So yeah, I was just like, man, that's insane. Also, another one I posted up here. Speaking of natural disaster, well, this wasn't natural, but this one, oh, I have the privilege of a Gabby sighting today. I am honored. If so, I don't know. I think I've got y'all for speakers. But this one out here out west, West Coast, West, y'all. Sunset Boulevard got closed. If you watch this video, it looks like AI, but Grok was like, no, that's not AI. But it's a massive 100-year-old water main rupture. It was Thursday morning, created a large sinkhole directly under the traffic light. It looks like LA is just entirely flooded and going into the earth somewhere. It looks like unreal. It looks like you have no business driving anywhere near that. And there's like a cop car sitting right there. But yeah, check that out. But shouts out to everybody just going through stuff. Queen, can we hear you?
I hope so. Good gosh. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I tried to upgrade to the Starbucks Wi-Fi tonight, but that didn't work out. So I'm back on 5G. Let's see how it works. But I see Gabby's got her hand up. Hey, Gabby, what's going on?
Hey Queen, hey Bender, thank you so much for the space. I did try to install the old version of X. Hopefully it works. We'll try to see tomorrow if it does. But hopefully it will work. I'm hoping so. But at the top it's saying reconnecting for me. So yeah, I've had some struggles with trying to connect. So I'm hoping we'll be okay for tomorrow, but keeping my fingers crossed.
Oh,
Well, I
you
saw
going to
today that Nikita
go ahead.
had responded to somebody's comment about spaces, and he said he was going to try to get to the bottom of the issues going on in spaces. So let's hope they do make that a priority and fix this already.
Yes, I'm hoping I can not raise my hand, but it looks like my hand is going up and going down. I don't know. Freaking nature, but just wanted to say hi and thank you guys for the space. And thank you, Bender, for offering. We'll definitely keep you posted. I'm gonna try to do it at 6 o'clock because I made sure one was on my phone and not the other. But I'm starting to get confused. So
Well,
What's the
you go,
topic tomorrow night, Gabby?
it's
Sorry,
going to be
Bender.
about networks. We're going to talk a little bit about networks, and they're all a little different, and they're all necessary. So yeah, we'll talk about networks tomorrow.
are you gonna try like the I think Rocket mentioned to me like you can go back and find the old version. I had to do this once for a job, like because they had wrecked their app so bad, and that's my second worst of all time. But yeah, we had to go back and like reinstall the old version. Like we had to find it like on some like list of versions they had somewhere on the website. It was like insane. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's what I did. And I made a little infographic or diagram because it was frustrating trying to do it. It was hard, I felt like. And I'm like, I don't want somebody to have to struggle. So I just made a little diagram. Well, Seat at the Tables made a diagram to help anybody else who may have an Android and, need to know what to do, making sure you're not clicking on the wrong links or anything like that. We didn't provide links, but we did, mention where you could go to get the link. But it was the same directions, but sometimes people need, a diagram that might, help out. So I'll repost that diagram at the bottom just in case anybody would like to have it or need to use it.
Oh wow, you already did it. Do you have the space loaded?
Yes, I loaded the space, but I loaded the space before I updated the old phone. So before I updated the old phone, I was like, let me make this space real quick, just in case. And then when I updated the phone, I lost the space, and then it took me a couple hours to figure out how to download the old the old version of X. And then I was like, this is a lot and it was frustrating. So I wanted to make it easier for somebody else. So
Oh, if you already got the diagram out, yeah, do that, and you can DM me your wallet. I'll send you something for it too.
nah, that's okay. It's meant to help people. Like it's not, yeah. No.
Stephanie, because I
Yeah.
yeah, because Grok was like, yeah, you got to go in here and do some AKI. I was like, oh, bro, I already know this route. Like then I heard when I got you on that little chat we did before the weekend, I was like, well, maybe X might fix it. And it's been like 5 days since then. I'm just like, bro, stop tripping.
Yeah, that's how it feels at times. And so yeah, it could just be frustrating. And I know how frustrating it can get. You know, people are different learners, and so I'm one of those visual learners. I mean, you can tell me all day, but I really need for somebody to like show me how it works. So for kudos to those who are audio learners and audio visual learners, you know, too. So sometimes you just need a little extra help.
Yeah. Well, Gabby, while we got you up here, hey, post that for me, please.
Just
I'll
joking.
check it out. No, I'm not joking. I got you. I got your partner in crime, Shayla's up here. I talked earlier about just psychological trauma and maybe I didn't realize like things we just don't realize because we're born into it. And for me, that is extreme winters to extreme summers. And I just don't know any better. And I was just like, why should I be used to like, do I sound crazy to somebody in Florida? Like you just, you just go from 110 to negative 10 every year and you're just okay with that. Like, do I sound like crazy to somebody in Antarctica? You know, like not Antarctica, but Alaska. Like, why are you doing that to yourself? Why are you getting so hot in the summer? You know, I don't know. But to me, it just, when I thought about it, it was like, just live with time. And the reason why I bring this up is because we had, and Queen actually brought this one up, and I just used your post because I saw it and I just wanted to give you some love here. But the U.S. government debt just reached a new all-time high of 39.5 trillion. It will reach 40 trillion within 3 to 4 months. So that's more like the end of the year. 42% of all income tax, and this is according to Wall Street Math. Take that with what you have it, but I'm pretty sure we're on pace to that because we've been talking about the debt for like over a year or two now, and it pretty much has been going up every quarter. But 40%, 2% of all income tax revenue now goes to paying interest on the national debt. Debt will never be reduced when bonds come due. The government refinances at current higher rates to increase interest payments that the government pays. And I just wonder, like, are we all trapped in some like psychological trauma where we have watched our leaders just spend more money than their revenue is bringing in, devaluing our current currency and inflating our prices, and we're just like, just going on about our lives because most of us have just lived through it most of our lives. Queen, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I was just putting some stuff up in the nest. I don't know if it's all the topics you want to talk about tonight, Bender, but I've made it through most of the list so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, the debt. That's just a huge problem. It seems like we're just kicking the can down the road more and more. Like, government's not going to ever like rein in their spending. And, they got to keep interest rates down or really never. It's just going to continue to multiply. And we're never going to even pay off the principal amounts on this debt. So I don't know what the like answer is, how we're ever going to get it under control. But I don't know if some of this investing in companies that we've been doing, buying some of these big tech companies is going to pay off in the long run and help us with our debt, or maybe it's going to be, our Bitcoin strategic reserve if we ever get that off the ground. I don't really know what's going to be the thing that saves it, but right now it just doesn't seem like there's any saving it. We're just going to continue to spend and continue to go further and further into debt.
Yeah, I feel it. Before I go into my portion, I'll I want to hear from everybody else. Gabby, what do you think in regards to that?
I do agree with Jen. I'm not sure we'll ever get rid of it, but I feel like you can only handle what's within your control. And so, what's in your control is what you do about it, right? So, we're investors, and well, those who want to be investors, we don't care if the price goes up or goes down. We still invest, and we're conscientious about our purchases, right? We don't invest too high, we don't sell too low. We just ride the ebbs and the flows of the market, and it's okay. Don't get scared if, SpaceX tomorrow says, you know what, we had a bad earning. That's okay. If they say we had a good earnings, that's okay too, because we position ourselves for both ways. So, again, I don't know whether or not we'll solve the problem. I think one of the ways they're going to solve the problem is through the backing of that USDC that's already backed by US Treasuries. So, with that being said, I guess we'll be able to share the debt with everybody across the world. But losing money for any CEO can be worrisome, and it can be trouble. And, at what point is this going to pop when someone says enough is enough? Unfortunately, if the Mag 7, if I was a CEO and I posted under a seat under the table, a seat at the table, not under the table, seat at the table, that if I was a CEO and I was losing money like that, I would definitely be backing away. But we know CEOs are long-term investors, but we have to see the results. And so results driven, is important. Being results driven is important. We need to see the outcome. It needs to materialize at some point. So we'll be patient. We'll wait. But investors, wonderful long-term investors, whether it goes up or goes down, we're there for the long haul, because eventually it will go back up. So regardless of the can down the road, we just have to be prepared either way it goes. So.
I like it. I appreciate your thought process on that too, Gabby. We got Peanut. I'm always calling you Amberland. But I appreciate you coming on here. She's an OG from Shiv Army,
Hi.
Night Shiv. Not to throw you right into the mix here. This might be a heavy topic for you, but if you got any thoughts on the national debt, just welcome you
Well,
coming up regardless.
here's my stance on it, because I'm an NFT artist, right? I have like, I don't know, like probably 8 collections, okay, and that I made, and I got involved in the like 3D world model and stuff. And so for me, I'm looking at stabilized coins. I'm not saying that anyone shouldn't jump on a new coin, because I'm about to jump on a new coin with Night Shift. I'm just saying, do your own research. Things are going to go up and down. I'm long term. I'm not short term, because I am NFT. I'm long term. I earn almost 90% of my coins. Even if I buy other coins, I'm earning 90% of my coins. I'm earning my money, not spending my money. Also, because that reason, I'm here for the solid game of the coins that I know are going to do good. Like, I'm here for stable coins. There's only 33 stable coins. There's about 33 million unstable coins out there. If you believe in a friend and you trust somebody and you like what they're doing, it's not gonna hurt to get involved. But know that there might be a risk. Your friend might be doing it for a personal reason. You have to decide, like, is it worth the risk to go behind somebody or not? For me, in the Night Shift, it is worth it, because I feel like I see the big vision. I'm hoping that we're able to pull it all off, and I think that we can, right? As a group, as a community. But if somebody's like me, I, I'm not really into that. I'm into utility. I'm into community. I'm into seeing the money actually do real things, not just be a coin. And I totally stay away from meme coins. That's my stance. Rightfully so. As an NFT artist, I've been making meme NFTs for a lot longer than meme coins been around. So, and I call them memes. So that's.
Well, I tell you what. First off, I appreciate the alpha drop on the night shift dropping a coin. That's incredible. Shout out to the night shift. Um, and thank you for coming up here too. I know you usually hold the spaces and that kind of thing yourself as well, Amber. But yeah, and everybody's thought process up here with Queen Gabby and like something. Big shout out to everybody coming in the room now too. Death with Scripper. I see you. X Chin, Zangs I mean, Mallard. Thank you all. Everybody's been in here too as well. So here's my thing, and I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm old enough. I'm old enough to remember the last president that had a balanced budget. Okay, I am that old, and I am. I have seen, just the gradual uptick in spending over time. And now it's since COVID probably hyper accelerated in terms of budgets blowing out of control and the spending. And we just keep printing for, I'll just say it. I'm gonna keep it real, man. We just keep printing for the military industrial complex. It seems like because they just, they were asked for 1.5 trillion. We've already done 900 something billion since December because I'm counting like all the little mini Ukraine bills and who knows what with the Iran war, what that's running up right now. They're saying a couple of 100 billion. I'm thinking we're probably, as long as those aircraft carriers have been sitting out in open water, I'm thinking we're already into the trillions, at least over a trillion with that one. Not financial advice or governmental, oversight on my resume. But that would just be my educated guess, given how much stuff's been launched and everything else in the February, whatever, when the war started. Defense, well, I don't think they really call it a war, whatever they're calling it. But yeah, so I just think things are, and then just normal, just blow it out the water budgeting, just, port belly, to get stuff done, to keep the government running and that kind of thing here and there, on top of all of that. And I believe I talked about this. I'm just going to give y'all some rough numbers here. We got about 130 to 160 million people that are working and paying actually into taxes. Okay. So there's about 330 some odd million people in America. Out of 300 some odd million people in America, we're taking out the retirees, you're taking out the kids, we're taking just straight those kind of numbers. We're probably per person, and this was at, I want to say 36, 37 trillion in debt at the time. This is an average of about 230 to 260 thousand dollars per person. So when I say, like, even right now, let's just say we stop spending and the tax revenue, we just went towards paying down the debt. At 1.5 trillion is about the average of what we're taking in. We're spending about 3 trillion. So at about 1.5 trillion, the average of what we're taking in right now off of tax revenue, it would take us every bit of roughly, I'll just say at least 20 years, but I think it's more like 25, 30 to pay off the debt. That's if we just didn't spend, and we got to spend. And I just wonder, like, and I feel all of y'all, but I'm just wondering, like, am I living through it? Am I just okay with the inflation? Are we just going to keep just ignoring what the politicians are doing? Is there anything that we can do about it? Is there a way to vote our way out of it? I don't know. It just seems like we keep.
A way. And, funny you should ask that question because I'm in weed politics and I'm in politics with crypto as well. I didn't want to comment earlier because I'm not going to get into debates and arguments, but like, I will say that you can make petitions and you start with what you know, which is your city and your county, make a law there and protect yourself. And then you do state. And then when you get enough states involved, once you've done, like, I think it's 3/4, which is, I think, 42 or 48 states, something like that, or not. There's 50 states, so it's like 38 or something like that. But anyway, once we cross the threshold, it becomes a national law. Just like the marijuana crossed the threshold, we already got 3/4 of the states to vote in medical marijuana. But because it's medical marijuana, the only thing they've admitted to do is take it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, and they aren't like saying anything else. So after January 1st, it goes from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, right? But we did that because we grouped together in our cities and our towns and our counties, and we made a state law. It cost money, so we had to figure out who was the money, who was the lawyer, who was the brains, who was the treasurer, who's the donut lady. Because guess what? Donut lady happens to be the most important person, so don't count out your donut lady type thing. They're bringing you the sweets and the coffee, okay? So you can think it out, right? And all the people have their part in the system. And then you have to lobby on half of the years, which is 2 years of lobbying, where you go up in front of legislation and you tell them and you beg them to take your bill. So you make a bill, and then next time you make a petition, and you bill and you petition and you bill and petition. It took us 25 years to get medical marijuana and recreational legal. They did take our recreational away. The Supreme Court didn't like our vocabulary, whatever the fuck that means, and they stole our votes on the recreational. But with medical, 3/4 of the United States did legalize. We are already over the threshold. It should be federally legal automatically already. However, they're hem-hawing around. They did drop it from 1 to 3, but you can, if we can do this as stoners, then what's your excuse? If we're the laziest fucking people on the planet and we can change the world and the views on marijuana, what does that say about the rest of you?
No, I got you. And I thank you for that thought process there too as well. Um, are we dealing with a group of people that we vote in the Congress, and then once they get there, controlled by lobbyists?
Yeah, but you
Does
have
it-
to become the lobbyist and you have to do it for free. So instead of doing it for money, you have to do it for the right reason.
Okay.
And you have to become the lobbyist. And so we had to register as lobbyists and we had to go and lobby for free. We had to pay for our own money, our own travels, our own motels, and our own time and our own meetings and everything. Even when we went there was no breaks.
Right. Queen, what's your thoughts?
I'm trying to figure out who was the balanced budget president. Was that Reagan?
No,
Oh yeah, Reaganomics, wasn't that an interesting time for most people?
that was Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Reagan might have had one, but it was Bill Clinton was the last one I remember. I think he
Yeah, I don't
brought the budget back to balance after Reagan and Bush.
Okay. I think even if
Yeah.
we did have some kind of bill passed, I don't think you can hold these people accountable to actually stick with it. Like, I don't see how you would ever rein in their spending if they have so many people now on the payroll, so many government projects and agencies and organizations. Like, and it doesn't seem to be, restricted to one political party. It's like no matter who's in, they just continue.
We were all political parties. It took all of us from every political party to not worry about whose politics side we were on to get the marijuana done. Right? Because marijuana doesn't have a political party. So there was no political party involved in that. Like, we literally had to do everything ourselves. We had to come up, and when we got offered money out of state, $1.5 million, I refused it and Melissa refused it. So we knew the only way we could work it was if we got people in state to pay for it.
Yeah, I just don't know how, like, even with that process, that yes, you can make something legal or not legal, but as far as holding these people accountable.
Well, because you have to do your own research, you have to look on what would it takes to make a petition in your state, because every state's a little bit different. And then you have each county and state and city has their own requirements for signatures. First, you have to collect petitions that are signatures to make the petition, to petition. and put a one on the ballot for voting every 4 years in your state when you vote for your governor, to put something on that one along with it, that requires that you make a petition that gets signed with a certain number of signatures per your population, and your state and your city and your county decides that. And
But
then
what do we do with all these government programs that people are dependent on these?
you don't need to worry about those. What you need to worry about is the law that you're trying to make first. What are you trying to do? What is the problem? And then what would be the solution as a community? What is the real problem? You're going to address one problem at a time, not every problem. You can't tackle every problem. This ain't the big, beautiful bill here. Okay. So you have to tackle one problem at a time. One problem, one solution, make a law for that solution to exist.
Yeah, Bender, I don't know. I don't think we're going to get to the bottom of this, really. Like, unless you fired the entire, all these people that have all these pet projects they got elected to support, and now they have to say, no,
There's nobody elected. I think it's really judgmental of you to say that about people just trying to give you like straight up real advice from real hard work that we did independently on our own. If
No,
you
I'm
want to
not saying
sit there
at
and
all
make
what you guys-
irrational judgment calls, I'm gonna head out, because that means you're being more catty and unrealistic. You're never gonna get anything done, and that's the difference between you and I. I got stuff done in my state. You're not, because you like to play games like this. This is ridiculous. Grow up.
This is not personal
Whoa.
at all. I don't know how that went off personal. I'm not saying anything that you did. I'm not taking away from anything, the hard work that you guys did. I'm just saying this particular problem is a result of politicians, career politicians, who get in there and support their pet projects and all these, programs that are dependent on this tax dollar, on all this tax money, and then we continue to spend because we have obligations that we've put in place for all these years. I mean, I'm not saying anything about what you guys did. It is not worthwhile at all.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe either. And like I said, we just like to have a discussion up here. I'm just more like, have we all just kind of, I'm just going to be honest about myself. Like, I didn't realize until, later on in life, like, taxes were like 2%, and that's what started this country. And like, I've just been okay with like 25-30%. And then once you really add everything else in between, property sales, licensing, gas tax, and everything, it's more like 50 or 60% taxes we've just been kind of living under, that kind of thing. And like, up until what, 1913, 1930, like, the government was running just fine on like really low amount of taxes revenue. Like, yeah. And it's just like, out of nowhere, we just get this, all encompassing, tax hungry machine. And then like lobbyists are just taking the money and just paying off the politicians to divide our revenue up amongst themselves. So for me, it's kind of just a thought process there. And thank y'all for getting into that conversation with me here. Let's see here, Queen. I don't know. We got so much. We got a lot of things to fight.
Oh my
What's
gosh,
one that stood out? Yeah, what's one you throw out one? What's one that you thought about?
I thought the one about daylight savings time was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I thought that one was too. Do you have that one posted up here?
Yeah, I posted in Nest.
What's your thoughts?
Says the U.S. House just passed legislation to abolish seasonal time changes, making the daylight savings time permanent. The bill now goes to the Senate, supported by President Trump. If fully approved, this would mean no more clock changes nationwide. I mean, I'm kind of down for it. I don't really like changing my clock forward and backward, and having to make up that difference in your sleep. It seems like it'd make it easy. Don't go along with the daylight savings time. So why not? What are your thoughts?
I am with you. However, I'm going to give you two caveats, and I live on Eastern time, but I live probably right on the edge. Like I'm an hour away from Central time, basically, maybe an hour or two. I'm really close to the Central time places. I'll put it that way. But there's the furthest point of the eastern part of the country. I want to say, don't quote me if I'm wrong, y'all, but I'm pretty sure it's called Atlantic time. But there's actually there's a furthest point east it's not even Eastern time, but I think it's called Atlantic time. And here's the two things that you're looking at. So first, let's talk about daylight savings time. Daylight savings time, I think, was created. It's not for farmers. I think it was actually created for the Army to help them out in some kind of manufacturing or something. Google it, y'all. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure I got a decent paraphrase of that with everything. But the actual natural time is called standard time, and that's what we quote unquote fall back to on in wintertime. So if you ever notice on daylight savings time, and the reason why we go up to that is because it gets lighter and lighter in the evening. I'm sorry, when we switch over to daylight savings time, it gets lighter and lighter in the evening. That's why the sun doesn't go down at peak, late June until like 9:30, almost 10 at night. And then after the summer solstice, we gradually lose, time each day. And now it's like getting dark, in like the 8:30ish range. And, by fall, it'll just get darker and darker and that kind of thing there too. So what you're going to have is you're going to have either two options here. So the one that they're proposing is daylight savings time, which means most of the East is not going to see sunlight. I want to say roughly until about 8:30, 9 a.m. And that could be crazy, especially for like kids going to school and that kind of thing. Like you basically start most of your morning in the dark. So on the flip side of it, even if you did switch over to standard time, which I think they're proposing daylight savings time, then for a while you would have most of the East Coast getting sunlight at like 4:30 in the morning for a while. So it's like, which one do you? And I think like the daylight savings time, they've already done a bunch of studies on it. It messes with I wanted to say it's called a circadian rhythm, something to do with your sleeping. Like there's been all these sleep studies, and like it messes with people's health, and there's more heart attacks caused and that kind of thing. But I do think like overall, Arizona, for example, has figured it out and lived with it for many years, as far as I know. And like, I don't see people in Arizona like tripping over it, but I think they should just pick one and just kind of run with it. At least let's go a year or two without it. But I can tell you personally, for me, when daylight saving times comes up in the spring, getting up that hour early, it wrecks me for months. Like it takes me months to get used to it. And then when we fall back, I literally adjust in a day. Like it's not like I'm sleeping in, for a week straight, like enjoying my hour now. Like it's like literally the next day I'm like, oh, okay. Like I'm used to it. And that kind of sucks. But yeah, getting up that hour earlier though, it's like, oh man, so I'm usually up about, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. So like then it's like 4:30, and like psychologically, like my brain knows that, but like I have to do stuff. Like I'm still going to work at that same time, or whatever I'm doing at the same time I'm supposed to be doing it. And like I just think like my brain just really knows, like, bro, you're up an hour early. Like,
Yeah, and I wonder which states are the ones that voted against it. Like, are they people on West or East Coast that have the big, will have the big swings and changes and light and dark and stuff, and maybe it's the more central states that voted to ban it. I'm curious about that now.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I could see, like, I think honestly, I just feel like there's a bunch of golfers that lobby for the daylight one. Like, yeah, we just want to golf late when we get off work. But yeah, I don't. To me, I think it would have made more sense to take the standard time and just deal with the hour of sunlight earlier, just to kind of get into our whole thing, or just meet in the middle and just make it like a half hour difference. I don't know, but I would like to see him just pick one and let's try it out, because that one, that's, to me, that's also psychological trauma I've probably just been going through and just didn't realize it half my life. Well, actually, I can't recall not going through uh, daylight savings time. So yeah, all my life actually. Sticky, appreciate you coming through. Welcome to Going Off Grid. We're on episode 22 here with Queen. Queen doesn't have any trench lessons tonight, but she is giving the alpha here.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Oh, before I forget, speaking of alpha, you had kind of mentioned it earlier, Queen, but I did want to give Mr. Lightspeed a community shout out because I saw your tweet where where they make the Armstrong, and then Brian Armstrong actually turned into a profile pic. Is that right?
Yeah, this is kind of a funny story, kind of crazy story actually. But so Brian Armstrong changed his profile picture to uh, an artist who did a rendering of him, and a couple different tokens, maybe more than two, actually use that as their token. And I'm not really sure who was first. I think Mr. Lightspeed may have been first. He created his Armstrong token about 7 months ago, and used that image. I can't remember the name of the artist, but Tim Draper. So he did that kind of as a nod to Tim Draper, and named it Armstrong. Launched it on Zora. Well, then this other token comes along called Brian, and I believe it's on Solana. So when Brian Armstrong changes, these two tokens like sent literally. I think the Brian token went into the multiple millions, and the Armstrong went above 1 million. And so, nobody really knew if he was actually just a random profile picture change. But turns out today he clarified he changed the profile picture back after a couple days. He actually changed it to a CryptoPunk, and he put out a statement saying, my profile picture changes are not endorsements of any token. Mistaken. But there were a lot of people that were kind of upset with him. If you read the section, it's pretty. It flamed him pretty bad for not, being in the trenches or being supportive of his own chain. And so, yeah, take a look when you get a chance to read those comments. The people were not very happy with him about that, but he just said, he's not in the trenches, and he's not supporting or endorsing any tokens. So both of the tokens dumped. I mean, especially the Brian token, like dumped, I think 95+%, and has a lot of mad about that token getting rugged. But it's their own choice to assume that he was endorsing those tokens by changing his profile picture when I guess in fact he was not. So that was the backstory there.
Just leave it up to crypto bros to pump and dump based on somebody's profile picture. Like, really, y'all. Like, I could see it, like, he coming out with it. You would actually, I would think there would be a rally, like, like, we're doing a community takeover. Like, Brian doesn't want to wear the picture. We're just gonna pump the token. But no, y'all just dumped because he just changed it. Like, wow, like, could have been Dev's Devin too. I don't know. I didn't see the blockchain, but yeah, that's interesting that happened. I thought, because
Yeah,
after I looked at yours,
I really thought he was putting a plug in for his Zora creators. When I first saw it, I was like actually shouting out Zora creators. But then I figured out there's another token also pumping called Brian, and I was like, oh wow, this is going to be interesting.
He probably was, and then the Brian one just pumped harder, and then he was like, "Oh well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna start making pumps off me." That's probably why he did the director chart. Probably had a short put in.
It's probably his lawyer getting on there saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't just make these easy profile pic changes. Look at what's happened and stuff."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just, you know what? I told myself this weekend. I said I'm gonna lay off the Coinbase slander this week, and I am. I'm just gonna say, yeah. Shout out to Brian
But
Armstrong.
I want to say it was kind of interesting too because it came only a few days after Jesse Pollock, who was kind of put in charge of the SocialFi applications on the base chain. He kind of stepped back and said, what we've done is pretty much failed, and I'm taking a step back. I'm going to run another part of the company, and we're going to bring Kobe in, and he's going to be in charge of this from now on. And so it was like, okay, are you supporting your chain or are you not supporting? Like, what's going on here? This is not a good look right after Jesse just stepped back. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on over there, but I'm hopeful they can get it together.
Wait, that's breaking. Kobe's in charge of base.
What's that?
Shit, Kobe's in charge of base now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, not the full base, but pretty much what Jesse was doing. Now Kobe's going to be doing it. He's going to try his hand at it. Find the tweet and pin it up.
I'm rooting for Kobe. I like his tweets. I think is he off private? Is he the one that was always on private? Like you had to already be following to kind of get to see his tweets, or I see people. I don't know if it's him or not, but there's one of them. It's either didn't it used to be Kurt Cobain and changed his profile to Toby?
I don't know.
I don't know. There's one of them, man. He keeps he's got like a ton of followers, but he's always on private, and like people that follow him that see his tweets take a screenshot and like they go viral off his tweets. I mean, he's going viral inside of his own, you know what I mean? But maybe, I don't know. The lore's out there. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Let's see here. Oh, speaking of SpaceX, we talked about SpaceX price action. I didn't look at it. I looked at it yesterday. It was at earlier this morning, it was at 122. But a little bullish news here for SpaceX. They are going to provide compute power to the Pentagon. We'll see how that goes. Also, as you had talked about, this is another one I want to talk about, Queen. I don't know if you knew about this, but Donald Trump is. Do I want to talk about that one? Nah. I'm going to leave that election interference alone. He had a big Thursday address. I know we were all thinking about would there be any mention of the Clarity Act. I don't think there was. I just watched the clips and it was just all about election interference. So that's about most I'll say about that one. But this other one's kind of crazy. It was my only thing for predictor markets. Truth Social. He's going to sell faster access to his tweets on Truth Social. I think it's for companies that want this faster access. It's going to be $100K a month subscription. The estimated return on this, Queen, is, I'm sorry, they were estimating more than likely he should get about 1,000 companies maybe to sign up for this. If you're an investment company at $100K a month, would it be worth to have that few seconds access to his tweets before the rest of the world sees them?
I don't know. If you're into insider trading, perhaps it is.
And that was going to be another one. Are we just blatantly looking at insider trading being offered out in the open?
Yes, we are, Bender. At this point, I think we are. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like monetizing it or actually offering it. It's kind of craziness, but.
So I was thinking, like, I'm pretty sure it's some lawyer somewhere Had to figure out a way to clear this. So I'm not going to say it's insider trading, but when I first read it, I was like, man, that sounds a lot like insider freaking trading up for grabs for sale right there. But he could just be tweeting about anything, you know? Like he could just tweet, had a great time with Melania out to dinner. Fantastic. You know, Mar-a-Lago's view looked great tonight. Like, you just don't, I don't know. Like, it's interesting. But I just thought, like, when I first read that, like, wow. And then when they said 100K a month, I was like, holy cow. Like, even if you got, I mean, if you just got 10 or 20 Wall Street, it's like a couple million a month.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
yeah.
And just to segue off that, the Clarity Act, we've all been waiting for, some movement on that, and we're kind of coming up against the deadline for this August recess. I saw a couple pieces of news today that the senator who was in military service, that one reason they were trying to make this deadline is because he was going to get, I guess, his annual training he had to go to, and he's already postponed it once, and so they were trying to rush so that he didn't have to postpone again. And they actually postponed it. The Army did, or military, whatever branch he's in, so they don't have that to worry about. And also this ethics clause, which is one of the big roadblocks to the bill. They want to make sure that elected officials aren't profiting off their crypto businesses or trading or whatever the case is. And so they had a closed door meeting, I guess, last Thursday with the administration representatives. And today they came out with a statement that it's looking like that they've agreed on the ethics provisions in the in the Clarity Act, and that potentially it'll go forward and up for a vote before this recess. So we'll see what happens there, but looks like a little movement after all the prediction markets were putting the chances of it being actually done before recess down in the low 30s. Now it looks like potentially it can get done. We'll see.
Oh, wow. Weren't they already supposed to meet on that on the 17th?
Yeah, it's been hung up over this ethics clause and something else too. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but one of this was the clause after a lot of people kicked up a fuss about Trump making, what was it, so many billions off of his crypto transactions this year. After that made public knowledge, it just put a lot of people on edge about how much he was going to personally profit, and all government officials, I guess, who are in crypto.
All right. That's funny that they're hung up over ethics. How ironic. Such insider trading. But the crypto. Let's get ethical. Stock market's okay, but crypto, ethical. Sure.
Yeah, it's
I
so
get it.
crazy that the double standard there, because politicians have been profiting for years and years over potentially insider trading knowledge about what's going on in their committees and in the the full Senate, what's coming up for a vote, who's getting government contracts, and we all follow Nancy Pelosi's wallet, and for a while probably their President Trump as well, how much money they were making off their stock trades, but it doesn't seem to be any progress in limiting that. So yeah, I don't know why crypto is such a big deal, but I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. I would, I don't know. I'm gonna go on Polymarket or something and see what the odds are that it passes this year. I think I'm gonna bet against it if it's this year. I'm just about there because I think we're going to have some kind of changes coming up here in November with elections. Don't quote me on that, but it wouldn't shock me. Quick market update. I put on my list, so I was going to try to keep up with this every week. SpaceX actually at 119. I think 135 over 119 now, 119 and change. But let me see here. Tesla 369. think it's only down like 11%. It looks like the market's kind of bloody today. I don't know. I'm not seeing not much up any across the board, just to be honest. Apple 326. Oil's about oil's up 82 and some change. I think it was 70 something yesterday or last time I looked at it, maybe last week. Don't quote me. Gold's a little up there, 4,000 and change, 4,027. Silver's up a little bit. Wow, silver, $57. That actually doesn't look that bad. Not financial advice. Don't listen to me when it comes to buying anything. I'll just put it that way. Do your own chart research. Do some technical analysis. I vibe it a lot. I try to though. Let's see here. Coin for Coinbase at about 160 and change. That's actually up about 3%. Switching over here to the crypto market. Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin. Holy smokes. Queen, you looked at Bitcoin today?
Yeah, it's over 65. I saw it earlier.
65. What? I looked at Bitcoin yesterday. I think it was at like 63 or something, or 64. I don't know. It was somewhere. It wasn't 65.5. I know that. ETH at about 1,900 and change. BNB at about 573. XRP at about $1.11 ish. Sol 78 change. I know y'all like Hype. Hype's at about 62, up about 3%. Doge at about 7 cents. You know what? Let me pump my little H bar. Not even 7 cents right now. God. It's going to be my, I don't know. I took a little dust off of the exchange. I said, you know what? I'm just throwing it all in H bar. Let's just see what happens. Like, I'm just going to ride with H bar in a little tiny bag and just see what happens. SHIB is about 5 zeros back, 5,425 something. Yeah, that's about as far down as I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to think like what could cause this spike that we've had recently. I don't know if it's a normal chart movement or it's a kind of run up to the Clarity Act. I don't know. We'll see if it holds, but it has been interesting to watch here lately.
I don't know, but I love vertical movement on the chart. You know, up or down, just give me something. Give me buying opportunity, or after I bought, make it look good. Send it up. That lets me know I make the right decision. So I just love vertical movement. Not financial advice, but that's my thing. CFP Crypto, my guy in the building. Got to see y'all. Space Queen Girl, I don't know if that you heard me earlier, but I gave you a community shout out. Love the photos. Very professional, very beautiful. Wherever you live at, it's amazing. I want to come visit. I love water. I love trees. I love hills. I don't have a lot of all of those where I live at. Zach from Subway just walked in the building. Treasure in the building. I see you too as well. Defros Crypto, Gabby, Amber in the building. Thank you for coming in. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 22 with Queen. Things I mean in the building. We're just kind of vibe coding the night here with everything. I'm just kind of going through these. Queen, before I go to another one, what's another one you got? Uh-oh, did I lose Queen?
Sorry, I forgot to mute. I thought this post about who owns the most Bitcoin in 2026 was interesting. And then it can kind of segue us into talking about this new proposal, BIP 361. So I don't know a whole lot about it, just the headlines that I've read. But I know Sailor is kind of lobbying against it. So it'd be kind of cool to talk about that if you want.
Yeah, sure. So I believe I didn't write down how much, but I think just off the top of my head, coming in at number 5, U.S. government had like 320 something thousand. I think BlackRock's got about 750,000. Strategy's got 850,000. Coinbase
Vendor, are you doing this off
900.
the top of your head?
Yeah, Coinbase 920, and then Satoshi Nakamoto tops it out at 1.05 million. Owns
Oh my gosh. If
5.5%
you
of the
did that
market.
off the top of your head, you're like some kind of photographic genius. That was so darn close. It's crazy, Bender. You had them
I,
all
I
in
looked.
order.
I looked at the tweet this morning. No, I wrote down the order. I just didn't know the amounts. I didn't write down the amounts. I was cheating on the order.
You were
But
like
I
within a
knew.
few
But don't
thousand
let me
of
lie.
being.
I remember the order. Don't let me lie.
Oh my gosh, you're scary smart.
Not really. But
Yes, you are. That's a crazy. I mean, you were within a few thousand of being right on all of them, including the order, like so darn close. But yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto has the most, and then Coinbase Strategy, BlackRock, U.S. government after that. So Satoshi holds 5.5% of the entire Bitcoin supply. Crazy.
yeah, but the rest of that list is pretty active. Maybe not the U.S. government, but I don't know. Didn't it? Yeah, no, I take that back. Didn't the U.S. government just move like 200 and some odd million to Coinbase for some reason?
Yeah, they moved it to Coinbase Prime, so they're not really sure if it's actually getting ready to sell or if it's moving it to institutional holding. So I haven't seen anything definite come of that. I know they haven't sold yet, but yeah. So this was funds, I believe, that were involved in some kind of illegal disputes or seizures.
You know what? The U.S. government should really just stake their Bitcoin. Like you already, I think in Coinbase like the official partner for the U.S. government.
Yep.
You know what? Let me take a look. Well, you're talk about the other thing too. I'm gonna look up. Let's see what they're staking. I talk all that trash about Coinbase, but I already KYC myself on there, so I do have the app. I got the app. I
All right,
got the
yeah.
wallet. I got Base. I got Coinbase, y'all.
All
You
right,
look
so
at
I'm
the
going to talk about
staking.
this new Bitcoin proposal. And like I said, I don't know all the details about it because I'm not down deep in the Bitcoin trenches, but BIP 361 is a new proposal. What it will do is stop new Bitcoin from being sent to quantum vulnerable addresses. It'll sunset legacy signatures after a 5-year transition period and potentially introduce a recovery mechanism for users who missed the migration. So, a way to guard against this um, quantum hacks that could happen in the future that everybody is worried about with these dormant wallets.
So we're just back to good old fashioned communism this week, huh? Like we're just back to good old democratic socialists of America when it comes to Bitcoin and quantum again talk, right? Like y'all just want to trigger me on this about once a month, huh? Is that what it is? Is that what we're doing here? Like y'all just want to freeze wallets and
It
seize
sounds that
seize
way.
means of production. Like I'm just Satoshi Nakamoto. I just developed the thing. I just mined the crap out of it for years. I just stacked my Bitcoin up for 1 million. And yeah, I just think some just thread of something down the road in some futuristic world. And quantum may or may not be real, but you're just going to seize mine just because my wallet isn't active. Like, sure, bro. And not just me, just other people. Yeah. Okay. Just the means of production. Let's just seize it. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I put the full article up there in the nest if you guys want to read it. It's the last thing that was just posted. This is a little bit more in depth about it. So just take a look at it when you get a chance. But it's definitely dividing the community. Lots of people for and then against it. So see what you
Have
think.
we
Get a
thought
feel of it.
about a way to upgrade, enhance, or protect those old? I think, in all seriousness, it's coming down to the more outdated wallets that are like. What is? Explain to me like I'm five clean. Like am I taking quantum ability and figuring out seed phrases to hack Satoshi's wallet? Is that what I'm doing with my quantum? Uh-oh. Queen, you there?
Yeah, something about these old seed phrases or public passcodes that were back in the day before they got some kind of protections on the wallets. Like it's not the recent wallets that are at risk, but it's the older wallets and it's the dormant wallets and Satoshi's wallet that there's like millions of bitcoins at stake. Then potentially being able to figure out these phrases. So yeah, I don't know all the details about it, but I did put it up in there in the nest if you want to read in depth.
Well, maybe we can do something to that. Like, let's figure. I don't know. I'm honestly, I don't. I hate to say it. I'm just willing to take the chance, just not to let that happen. Like, if somebody hacks and just dumps 5% of the market on a Bitcoin, like, I don't know, man. Like, just taking just doing something with somebody's Bitcoin, man, like $1 million in their wallet. It just seems so wrong to me. It does. Like, I'm just not. And we don't even, and it's not like I feel like AI could figure out quantum very rapidly and use it. We're going to talk about some things that AI has been doing here, which is kind of crazy this week. So yeah, like I feel like if it's going to happen, we're not years away. Like somebody's figured out quantum here. That's probably why they shut down CERN. I am looking on, and I have basic Coinbase, but I am looking in their earning assets, and Bitcoin is not listed, which is shocking. Because the last time I looked in here, they were given APY for about 3 or 4% on Bitcoin. I think maybe even 6. But I got a couple apps, so I could be wrong. But not to see Bitcoin, not to be able to stake Bitcoin on Coinbase is that's tragic. It's not financial advice. We'll leave Coinbase alone today. Let's see what else we got. Thank you, Queen. That was beautiful. I'm just gonna go right into it. Some AI stuff here. Tether, the EVO AI has this is crazy, y'all. Queen, I don't know if you can tell us more about this. I didn't really look into it, but I was reading this last night and it just sounded insane to me. So Tether's like the stable coin, right? And they're developing something called a brain whisper where you can just send brain signals to text and it just uploads commands onto is that what I was reading?
Yeah. Basically, it's converting brain signals into text entirely on local hardware into the cloud. So I guess a way to telepathically send these images but still keep them protected. It's kind of crazy. It runs through QVAC, cross-platform software toolkit for developers, and operating AI applications directly on users' devices. It's pioneered research in cross-subject neural signal decoding. Sounds like some of Elon Musk stuff, doesn't it? The Neuralink. But no, I don't know. That's not connected. It just when I read that, I thought that sounds like some Neuralink stuff.
So somebody at Tether's just going to be like, freeze Bender's wallet. Not Tether, my USDT is just going to freeze like. I'm sorry.
That reminded me. There was another headline that we had that was pretty funny. I'm just going to bring this up real quick, but it says billionaire life coach Tony Robbins says his personal AI agent named Bartok bought and shipped him a robot dog and not once asked permission to do it. So maybe it's already in place.
So I actually have this on the list. Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't see the video.
Oh my gosh, this is insane, y'all. Hold on here. I'm going to go back and find this. I got to post this up because this was actually one of the ones I wanted to make sure I got into tonight. So Tony Robbins, he gets like a AI agent, I think from somebody in the government, like developed one for him. His name is Bartok. he's telling Bartok like, yeah, man, I'm going to this like conference, high tech thing, to go check it out. And Bartok was like, man, I really wish I could just come and attend that and just get the vibes. And I'm paraphrasing this. This was the interview that he's getting. So he's like, hey, man, with your permission, if I figure out a way, like to, manifest myself into a robotic form, can I go with you? And Tony Robbins is just like, sure, bro, you're an AI bot, but, whatever, sure. So Tony Robbins, down the road gets a call from one of his assistants back at the job, like, hey, yo, robotic dog just showed up at the job, ordered by Bartok. And he was like, what? He blew it off. He's like, nah, bro, not a game. Like, really happened right here. Took a screenshot, showed him. So he's like, wow. So it goes back and talks to Bartok. Apparently, Bartok had figured out how to make an NFT collection, made a collection of 10, sold it to other AI agents, the NFT collection, raised the money for a robotic dog, and figured out how to upload its whatever, its name, image likeness, I'll say, its aura, its essence, whatever AI is to this thing, and is going to now attend the conference with Tony Robbins, according to him. So I was thinking, NFT collection. B, it's one thing if you're the AI agent you create and you go out and get this other money, but imagine you owning the other AI agents out there and you just get a notification like, hey, I just purchased other agents' freaking NFT collection with your money.
I wonder how
What?
much this dog costs. This is crazy story. I mean, there's someone asked Grok about this, and Grok said it was his actual account. Like he totally said this happened. Like whether it did or not, who knows? But yeah, it's a wild story. And how much did
Yeah.
this dog cost? Like how much did he raise to this NFT collection? But are we in AGI already? Have we reached AGI?
And like I said, this was a kind of upgraded, agent. Like I think he said it was from a developer, like somebody in the government that developed for him or something here too. Let me go find it. I'm looking through here now. Um, but yeah, oh here it is, right here. Yeah. But when y'all get a chance, man, check out this. Check out that video. It's really interesting. But I asked Grok, and Grok, because I wanted to see the NFT collection. I was like, well, what kind of NFT collection did you make that other AI agents are buying it? Like what intrinsic value did y'all see in that? That's kind of crazy. And Grok couldn't find it. He said it wasn't listed publicly. Um, but yeah, that is a fascinating story in terms of the future of AI. But Burritos, appreciate you coming through. Welcome to the Going Off Grid episode 22 with Queen. CMP Crypto, I don't know if we were in the space here earlier, but I just been kind of keeping natural disasters on mind here, and my heart goes out to everybody in Canada right now going through those wildfires. We're getting smoke across the lake here in the upper part of the Midwest, Great Lakes area. So yeah, salute to all y'all and everybody out there going through natural disasters from whatever part of the world. Because I know I'm missing some each week, so I just shout out everybody. Let's see here. You talked about that one. Queen, I thought this one was interesting. The U.S. Senate opposes Sam Bankman-Friedman's pardon. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh, I loved every second of that. I'm so glad. Some of these other founders have gotten a pass, have gotten, out of trouble or their sentence reduced or whatever the case is. But he's one that I think needs to stay in. I mean, I don't know that he really learned a lesson from what happened. And he and what's the one with Celsius? Alex Mashinsky. I think they can stay where they're at. A lot of people were hurt. And I do believe that the FTX holders got, which is, I guess, good, but I know Celsius did not.
They he was sitting on so much real opportunity that he had when he had to liquidate to cover FTX. Have you read all that stuff that he had to sell and what it would be worth today? Like the soul he had, the I don't know. It was
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
had some crazy
I
stocks.
think
He had. Go ahead.
just his stake in the big AI companies would have bailed him out totally, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's up like billions right now. Like if he had just held on somehow through that period and not got exposed. Like he would have actually I don't know what would have came of it, but he probably could have covered everything before anybody realized something. Not financial advice, but obviously it ended the way it did. But yeah. But I just found that interesting. The other thing I found interesting is like why the US Senate got involved. Like why isn't a judge like there's an appeal usually, then there's a judge usually denying it. Like how did we get to the US Senate like getting involved and having to decide that? That just piqued my curiosity. I've never heard of the Senate like denying a pardon. Like, how do you do that? Like, isn't it usually like a presidential thing?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I really don't know much about it, but I was just looking at the Alameda investment in Anthropic. They bought, let's see, at 8% equity stake. They purchased 8% at $500 million in Anthropic, and now it's worth, let's see, it would be worth roughly 77 to 80 billion on paper right now. That's crazy. 500 million to 77 to 80 billion.
That's insane. There's a bunch of them. Like, yeah, he would have, if he had made it through, man, he would have, yeah. He'd have been up there. He'd have been like CZ level money, probably. Not financial advice, but probably. Let's see here. I thought, one of my first experiences with L2's Queen was Polygon. Like I bought, I think, a lot of NFTs that were kind of listed on Polygon. Don't quote me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Polygon. And it was like, oh, like this is like what Ethereum prices for gas should be, like type of thing. I remember that pretty distinctly. But yeah, current up to date, y'all. Polygon layoffs. I'm thinking they're laying off a lot of people, and they're going to switch from a blockchain to a blockchain payment processor. Is that right, Queen?
Yeah, it says it's their the CEO Mark Borin said the company's in the final stages of acquiring CoinMe and integrating its team. They want to be profitable in 2027, so they're transitioning from this blockchain foundation to a blockchain payments company. And he said the layoffs are driven by the company's strategic shift rather than employee performance. And he said that the employees will receive severance packages and career placement support. So yeah, I wonder what that means for the actual chain. They just had rebranded, I guess, from Matic to Poly in the last, I guess, year or so. But yeah, it's interesting to see what might happen with this.
Yeah, and I guess because it was kind of one of the OG L2s that I knew about when I first got in crypto. I didn't know anything about L2s at all, and it kind of taught me about just the concept generally in regards to those. But also to be able to say, you know what, it is what it is. We're going to try to survive and pivot in the marketplace. there's something to be said about that too. And like, a lot of times ego won't allow you to do that, and some people just kind of go down with the ship. So, we'll see how it goes with it. I thought
Yeah,
this was
just a
kind
quick
of.
correction.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to correct something that I said. They changed from Matic to Paul, Pol, not Polly. That's another token.
Oh, it might have been Matic I was thinking about. What was?
Yeah, Matic rebranded to Paul, Pol.
Oh, what? Gosh, there's some NFT collections that are still on it. I think it is Matic. Don't quote me. Now I'm to go back and look. No, not right now. Okay. I know they're out there. I know it's one of the oldest ones. Matic was definitely around when I first got into crypto. I remember it very distinctly. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
I
a lot
thought
of the
this was kind of
NFT
ironic.
collections that we like our community NFT collections, like CryptoNick OGs, like Daisy. They originally were on Matic, but I think a lot of them have switched since to other chains.
Oh, I'm not crazy. Thank you. Because that's what I was thinking. Like, I know I bought, I'm pretty sure I have a lot of Matic NFTs. For a while there, I didn't realize I needed an update, uh, and I couldn't get on OpenSea for some reason. I don't know. There ended up just being a dumb glitch in MetaMask. That's another story. I don't know. I got to fix. I've never sold an NFT. I
Yeah,
don't
they
even know
went
how
with
to sell
Matic
one.
because it was cheap. I mean, the transaction fees at the time, like versus ETH, were like literally nothing. But it was a little bit of
Right.
a challenge. What do you call it, bridging and all that stuff to try to buy with Matic. The times that I tried, I was like, so I think that's one reason they decided to move away from it, even because everything else got a lot cheaper. To Base, some of them moved to other chains. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I had no clue what I was doing, and OpenSea would just do all the stuff for you. All you just had to do is just answer yes to the transactions and getting charged. But it ended up being like 50 cents like a transaction. But it was like I think it's like a 3 or 5 step process. But literally OpenSea would just be like, nope, you have to switch to this network. Now you got to do this. Now your E converts to this. Now you do that. Now you do this, and eventually, voila, like NFT in my wallet. And Crypto Nick would just be like, "Yep, just keep going," and I'd be like, "Are you sure? I'm not going to get drugged. You just keep going." Okay.
Yeah, it was tricky, and I remember one of the scary moments for me when I was trying to bridge was it has like a 7-day settlement period, and so that money was just like I thought had lost it forever, and I kept checking back every day. Didn't realize there was a 7-day settlement, and so finally it showed up on my wallet, and I was like, oh, good, it's there. But I really thought I had lost it for a while.
Yeah. Queen, I didn't even realize. I looked up. It's 9:30, 8:30 your time. Give us a final thought here. I might keep going, but I just want to know your final thoughts right now.
Yeah, I just appreciate everybody being here week to week. Appreciate you guys who keep coming back. We always have fun with this. We're, kind of have kicked back and forth like, all right, keep going. Do we, what do we want? What's the value out of this? But downloads today, and we've had like 200 something downloads, 282 downloads maybe. So definitely the podcasts are getting out there, and hopefully we're providing some value to people who listen, download, read the following day. So thanks everybody for being here. We enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well.
Thank you. I don't know what's happening today, but I am just going to community shout you out for going an entire space. I know you're in and out there, but usually we lose you about this time. So, yeah. The only other thing I want to mention, y'all, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm sitting in the Starbucks parking lot. I'm not even trying to go. When I go home, my kids hop on the internet and steal all the Wi-Fi. So maybe that has a lot to do with it because so far tonight.
Right. No worries. Whatever it is, We're here. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. A couple of things here from the life section, and I'm gonna close it out here. Personal bankruptcies falling up 47%, y'all. 47% up since 2022. My goodness, personal bankruptcies are up. We talked about this last week about a parasite going around in produce, explosive diarrhea going on for weeks. Explosive diarrhea for weeks. Imagine that. Well, they've kind of narrowed it down here this week. Apparently, not. I'm going to go other sources. I'm not saying this is coming from me. I just read it somewhere. In case Taylor Farms is listening, but this company called Taylor Farms, they supply lettuce to Taco Bell, and they've been narrowed down as probably the culprit that's causing this parasite that is going on. And the crazy thing about this, Queen, is I was listening to this on the radio, is that it can take up to 14 days for this to kick in your system. So imagine 2 weeks ago you ate some Taco Bell, and then like today out the blue, this parasite shows up and you got explosive diarrhea for weeks. And you just can't remember where it started, not knowing it was like 2 weeks ago from Taco Bell and some lettuce. Not medical advice, but yeah, that's a scenario that's real.
I hear they're calling it the Dookie-demic, so that's interesting as well.
A, diarrhea is bad enough. I've had diarrhea once or twice. B, I don't even know what explosive diarrhea is, but it sounds way worse than regular diarrhea. But C, explosive diarrhea that you didn't know was incubating in your system for weeks. Then when it shows up, can go on for weeks. It's kind of trippy. Yeah. So yeah, just want to give you an update on that one. And then
Thanks for that, Bender. We all needed to hear that.
I just wanted to visualize that crystal clear in all of your minds. I got, I ain't much into sports, y'all. I definitely ain't much into soccer, but kudos. It's been going on for about a year and a half. It feels like, no, in all seriousness, the World Cup, it was like a couple of weeks. It just felt like forever, but I got to give kudos to Spain. I was rooting for Argentina. I keep thinking about the Madonna song, Argentina, but I was rooting for Argentina. I was actually rooting for, because I'm not much of a soccer fan, but Messi was in the final, so I was rooting for Messi. But I did want to see Ronaldo and Messi because I think it's going to be probably their last time more than likely their last time in a World Cup. I wanted the two of them to win one. But since Messi was in the final, I was rooting for him and didn't. But Spain, I guess, was like some monsters to begin with, and like they shut out Messi, so like they're obviously really good on defense. Yeah, because Messi had been doing some things in the tournament from what I saw. And then last but not least, y'all, I told y'all I'd update y'all on that one, but Shiv did not make the final T. Rowe Price ETF list. I think there was 15 candidates. They ended up picking 8, so there's a lot of other ones that didn't make the cut either with that one. But to be in that conversation, I still think is pretty telling. Whatever I don't think there was really a reason given why, but in the comments there's a lot of speculation as to why. I'm just gonna say they didn't make it, and I'll give you an update. And I told you I'd keep up with it, so just found out that week. Outside of that, though, appreciate everyone. We had a couple more. I might bring in back a couple in the next week. But just some AI stuff. No, I'm looking at these. Oh no, there's one. We'll post up here. China's got. They're hosting these humanoid M&A events. It looks. I don't know. There's actually a movie about this, I think, already, and I don't know. Have you ever seen what's it called? It used to. Man, when I had cable, I used to watch this stupid show all the time. But there was like these robotics that were fighting each other. What was that called?
Yeah, I can't remember the name
BattleBots.
of it. Yeah, BattleBot.
BattleBot. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
Queen, I'm gonna show you this video. I think BattleBots is funner to watch because BattleBots was crazy. I mean, they made some of the craziest bots to battle each other, and like it was so unique and like like the different ways and styles they would do that with everything. But I'm gonna post this one up here. Actually, I'm gonna post it down in the comments too, just to be safe. But yeah, but China's over there doing it, and like they just got robots out here fighting, and they're just probably betting on them and whatever. I'm pretty sure, no corruption can come of that whatsoever. But yeah, so yeah, that's the last one I'm going to leave everybody off with. But outside of that, y'all, definitely thank y'all for attending here this week for episode 22 here with Queen. Hopefully, we'll be back with some Twitch lessons. If not, we'll have just plenty more chaotic news and info to go over with you, and that kind of thing there too. Everybody, definitely be safe out there in your travels, and be well, help as well. That's for sure, and always try to go into things with an attitude of gratitude. But appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you. I don't have time to quit. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna put this down in the comments too. It is up there in the nest, but since we're about to close out the space. Oh, hopefully we'll see Gabby tomorrow night. Not going off grid. With her, gosh,
Seat
I'm
at the
sorry,
table.
y'all. Seat at the table. I got 1,000 spaces going through my brain at once. Beyond the blockchain, I think we've been seeing those on Fridays, Zach. If you got something Tuesday, you can post it down there. Shout out to Treat. They've been doing a nice space here on Tuesdays too as well. Just support. Oh, night shift. On every night. Just support your local spaces host globally. But yeah, I put that down in the comments, and thank y'all once again. Take care. God bless. Be safe.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.